Hey everybody, welcome to New Victory Gardening. I thought I'd take some time to introduce myself and kind of talk about the concept and maybe do just a quick garden tour. Hi, my name is Michael. I live in Northern California in Sacramento, and I have about an eighth of an acre that I garden and fortunate enough to be able to garden. And so the whole New Victory concept is about gardening where you are and using it to help give you some resiliency and some sustainability and to save you money. And so I come from a long line of gardeners that have done that. My family, my parents, grandparents, great-grandparents always had gardens, and they've always kept them as a way to offset some of the expenses of life. And so yeah, I want to say I started as a gardener. When I was in grade school, I did a science experiment where I grew some small plant like a radish or something in soil with different amounts of sulfur to see how the sulfur affected the plants, and have been hooked ever since. And so I'm gardening in a wide variety of places, off the patio of a one-bedroom apartment, in a big box, on a quarter acre, or in a 10 by 10 plot for everything. And I just really believe that it's a good thing because I've always found joy, enjoyment, and saved a little bit of money in being able to produce some of my own foods. Not to mention, it's just a healthier thing to do. So that's the New Victory gardening concept. And so I'll take you around my garden now. It's broken into a couple different sections. There's a mini orchard section that is pruned like a backyard orchard according to master gardener specifications. And then I have just some garden boxes to grow random things, annuals, anything that I might see fit. And I also have a trellis system that I use for some vines. And the original goal that my wife and I had when we made this was to try and produce something every single month of the year. And we're kind of there most of the way. We have production from about late May through until about January. So it's kind of those late spring months where we might have something, we might not. I should say early spring. We might or might not have anything. And so it's worked, and we've been able to offset a lot of costs and get enjoyment out of it. So let's go to where everything starts, and I'll kind of show you that. It's my garden table here. And so my garden table is just a glass table that I had. You have to use what you have available. And so I can sprout upwards of 100 plants. And right now you see I have tomatoes and greens on it, and I'll probably start in with another set later. If you have a table and you get some of these trays, leave me a message. I'll send you some because I have a whole bunch of them. But you get these trays and a little potting mix, and you can sprout, and that's where it all starts. And so my mini orchard is pruned. Each plant is pruned to be about 10 foot or lower in height. And so that's my goal. And I do that by pruning in the summer and in the spring. So I'll prune in the summer while the plants are vigorous to keep the size down. And then I'll wait to spring to prune for fruit production. And so this first tree here is a fruit salad tree. It's a great tree. It's apricot, plum, and nectarine. And so the apricot's June producer, the nectarine's a July, and the plum, the Santa Rosa plum, is an August. And so you could actually get a whole summer's worth of fruit from just this one tree. And that's the great thing about fruit salad trees. But you just need a little bigger space. I'd say a 20 to 30 foot square space to plant them in, or else you'll be pruning them, and it's a little more challenging. And so anyway, the next tree in the orchard is pruned to 10 foot as well. This is my apple tree. It's a Gala apple that I got from a veteran, and I was happy to help out a Vietnam vet. And so this tree actually doesn't behave like Gala at all. I'm not sure what it is, but it produces golden, delicious looking apples, and it produces them out of season from Galas. So this one produces in August, and I just love this. This is my favorite tree because apples are so versatile. And so being so versatile, I can make ciders, apple butter. You can make a lot of different kind of desserts and pies. You can freeze them. You can make applesauce. And so there's lots of things you can do. And so that's why this is my favorite. I like the apple cider fresh too, so that's great. And so next here is a peach tree, which is my wife's favorite. So this peach tree I'm trying to prune as well to be 10 foot and moderately successful in doing so. And this produces in July and is just a great sweet peach tree that we've been fortunate to have. And so two more trees. One is right here next to me. It's Mexicola avocado, which is a fall producer. And so as you can see, it's blooming out here. And hopefully we'll have some fall avocados like September, October time frame. And when we do get a good crop from this tree, it's really nice, but it's just we're right on the edge. These trees do not like cold weather, and so we're kind of right on the edge of where you can grow it. And because of that, I've really had to like spend a lot of time taking care of this tree when the weather gets cold, covering it, making sure it stays warm, and so on and so forth. So challenging tree, but the payout is a super healthy fruit in avocados. And so let's go to the last tree. This is the last tree here. It is a nectarine tree that produces in May. This one takes a lot of work, and I'm thinking maybe I might get rid of it. We'll lose some of our May fruit production, but I'd rather put that time into my grapes and blackberries, which I'll show you a little bit later. And so sometimes you have to make decisions like that and make adjustments based on how much time you have and what you can do. And in my garden, I may prioritize this one. We'll see. But that makes a mini orchard. I have this orchard. Just was an experiment because I saw the concept from our county master gardeners, and it's really worked out well, and what I'd say is give at least one tree a try. If you have a 15 by 15 foot space, you can give it a try. I've seen folks grow citrus trees in say 3 foot by 3 foot square boxes, like cedar boxes or large wine barrels. You can give trees a try, and if you can get one to take and grow, it produces a wealth and really will help you out with good healthy produce, and you don't have to worry about the price of things. So that's the great thing about that. One tree makes a difference, right? All right, let's move on to the next part. It's garden boxes. And so I have 5 garden boxes. They're 8 foot by 10 foot and about 10 foot by 10 foot. And I grow various things in them year to year. This year it looks like greens and tomatoes and maybe some zucchini. Other years it's cucumbers and peppers or some combination. But I try to rest one of them every year. And this year I was going to try to rest this middle box here. And so we'll see if I'm successful. And so usually there's a box that I'm resting, and then there's a box for early spring. So cabbage, those are mustard greens going to seed there. And then I have a box that I grow in the summer, which is the box that I just showed you there. And then I have 2 others, which here's one. It's a 10 foot by 10 foot. And I have been reserving this one for shallots, green onions, and garlic. Because in a 10 foot by 10 foot space, you can grow a year's supply. And you also have enough to share. And so that's what I've been doing. And it's worked well. And I leave the box otherwise so that every year I can just get a great garlic harvest out of it. And so that has benefited us in a lot of ways. And so that's one. And then I kind of have this other box here where I planted some oat grass this year, but a lot of times I just plant flowers here, and the goal is to have something to enjoy. So tulips, zinnias, some kind of summer flower, I'll put it here, and you can interact with it. The kids like it, and it's just a general one just for enjoyment. And so that leaves the last part, and the last part of the garden is a trellis. So I have a trellis system here where I have grapes and blackberries. And so as you can see, I have a row. There's 4 vines there. It's about 10 foot by 20 foot. And then I have blackberries. And I have I've started with just 2, and it's one of those things. Blackberries are so vigorous and they grow that you don't have to buy them. You know, this is actually a triple crown, so it doesn't have any spike spine thorns on it, so I could amazingly reach my hand in and out, not get stuck. And this thing is almost like a weed, and so if you water it, it just produces for the month of July, and my grapes produce for the month of August. And so we have the summer just thoroughly covered, and if we freeze or save some, it does you really good come December, January, and February. And so that marks the garden. You want to look under the trellis here. It's created this shade habitat where I can grow some things as well, like these grains here. And so as you can see, they're coming up to seed, and then it usually puts its fruit out. You can see some of the growth here. The grapes will just fall right down. And I did not expect that when I was growing this. Like, I didn't think that it would produce its fruit down. I've just been lucky in the fact that the plants have grown that way, and that's how they've adjusted to being trellised like this. And so I recommend a trellis as well, and you can grow one of these vines out of a big pot and just trellis it, and all you have to do is keep it trimmed, and as you can see, year to year it will start to produce. And so there's little baby blackberries coming, and they're just so good when you grow them yourself. They're a whole lot sweeter as well. So anyway, that's the garden. That is kind of like my take for right now on New Victory gardening, and I'm pretty certain that it's gonna change as my ability to do things changes, or as work comes and goes. But I wanted to commit to the concept of trying to produce some of your own food in your own space, and trying to build a little community on YouTube and interact with other gardeners or interested people. And that's really the point of the channel, is community. And so I look forward to meeting and interacting with folks, and we also look forward to creating more videos, and we welcome your comments, both good and bad. And I always say grow with us. And so please consider liking and subscribing to the videos as we build the channel, and we look forward to where we can go. So with that, take care, God bless, and we will see you on the next video. There's my dog Tiger. You'll see him. Oh, you'll see him too. So I wanted to say